President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping have agreed to meet during the upcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) summit in San Francisco, as stated by an anonymous U.S. official familiar with the planning. The agreement in principle was reached as Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with Secretary of State Antony Blinken and White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Friday. However, the exact details of the meeting, including the specific day, venue, and logistics, have not been finalized yet. The White House expressed in a statement that both sides are working toward a face-to-face meeting between Biden and Xi on the sidelines of the APEC summit. This summit brings together 21 Pacific countries to discuss economic cooperation. Prior to this announcement, President Biden had an hour-long meeting with Wang in the Roosevelt Room at the White House, with Blinken and Sullivan also present. This meeting is part of a series of high-level contacts between the United States and China as they navigate a tense relationship amidst conflicts in Ukraine and Israel. During the meeting, President Biden emphasized the need for responsible management of competition and open lines of communication between the United States and China. He also highlighted the importance of collaboration in addressing global challenges. The White House described the meeting as a positive development and an opportunity to continue the conversation. While President Xi's attendance at the APEC summit has not been confirmed by Beijing, the summit is scheduled to take place from November 11th to November 17th in San Francisco. Wang is currently on a 3-day visit to Washington, where he has been engaging in meetings with top U.S. officials. On Friday morning, he had a second meeting with Blinken during his trip. After their initial meeting on Thursday, the Chinese side stated that they had a comprehensive exchange of views on China-U.S. relations and issues of common concern in a constructive atmosphere. The U.S. State Department, in its readout, mentioned that the two men discussed both areas of difference and areas of cooperation. Blinken reiterated the United States' commitment to standing up for its interests, values, and those of its allies and partners. Prior to the meeting, Wang expressed China's goal of swiftly returning the relationship to a path of healthy, stable, and sustainable development. U.S. officials had previously indicated that they would emphasize to Wang the importance of China playing a more responsible role on the global stage if it wishes to be considered a major international player. The United States has expressed disappointment with China's support for Russia in the Ukraine conflict and its relatively silent stance on the war between Israel and Hamas. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller stated that China, as an influential power, should utilize its capabilities to encourage calm in the Middle East. The United States acknowledged that China has relationships with several countries in the region and urged them to leverage those relationships and lines of communication to promote stability. U.S. officials believe that China holds significant leverage with Iran, a major backer of Hamas. Wang's visit to Washington takes place amidst high tensions between the two countries, including disputes over U.S. export controls on advanced technology and China's assertive actions in the East and South China Seas. The U.S. military has released a video showing a Chinese fighter jet flying dangerously close, within 10 feet, 3 meters, of an American B-52 bomber over the South China Sea. This incident nearly caused a collision and has raised concerns among U.S. military officials. The Pentagon recently shared footage of over 180 intercepts of U.S. warplanes by Chinese aircraft over the past 2 years, highlighting an alarming trend. Furthermore, the U.S. has reiterated its commitment to defending the Philippines in the event of an armed attack, as per a security pact, after Chinese ships blocked and collided with 2 Philippine vessels near a disputed shoal in the South China Sea. In response, Beijing has released its own video showcasing close encounters in the region, including footage of the USS Ralph Johnson allegedly making a sharp turn and crossing in front of a Chinese Navy ship. The U.S. destroyer was also captured sailing between 2 Chinese ships. Senior Colonel Wu Qian, the spokesman of the Chinese Defense Ministry, claimed that these videos demonstrate that the U.S. is the true provocateur, risk-taker, and spoiler in the region. The Pentagon refuted China's characterization of the USS Ralph Johnson's movements, stating that the video only includes cropped segments of a 90-minute interaction. They maintained that the ship operated in accordance with international law and in a lawful, safe, and resolute manner. During his visit to Washington, Wang was expected to discuss the issue of Taiwan, which Beijing considers a part of Chinese territory. China has vowed to seize Taiwan by force if necessary, while the United States, having a security pact with Taiwan, opposes the use of force. The last time the Chinese president visited the U.S. was in 2017 when former President Donald Trump hosted him at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. President Biden, who assumed office in 2021, has not yet hosted Xi on U.S. soil. The two leaders last met in November 2022 in Bali, Indonesia, during the Group of 20 meeting. The U.S.-China relationship began to deteriorate in 2018 when the Trump administration imposed significant tariffs on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. The relationship has further soured over various issues, including human rights abuses, territorial disputes in the South China Sea, Taiwan, technology, and the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Yun Sun, director of the China program at the Stimson Center, a Washington-based think tank, a meeting between Biden and Xi would bring much-needed stability to bilateral relations. Sun emphasizes the importance of stabilizing the relationship rather than seeking immediate improvement, as it would offer the region and the world a sense of certainty.